Dinka tribes once towered over these jungles. Now, they shrink beneath the ravages of famine and civil war. But one young warrior boldly dreamed of a new future.
All 7 feet 7 inches of him, the tallest player in the history of the NBA. Blocked by Bol. Tried again. The house is up.
His journey made him a legend. His sacrifices almost killed him. And his courage inspired a nation. The story goes that there were 2 members of the Dinka tribe, a husband and a wife, who were worried that they might never have a child. According to Dinka belief, a problem with childbearing meant the gods were unhappy. But the tribal chief told the couple they would have a healthy boy, and when they did, they named him Manute, which meant special blessing. It seemed that Manute's name was prophetic. He grew up strong and tall, the perfect heir to a Dinka chief and a tribal elder.
Dinka people are very, very, very loyal and very proud people. We were colonized by the British people, and the first time they set eyes on the Dinkas, the chiefs, our grandfathers, they wouldn't be submissive. They thought you should come here and treat us with respect.
You could even tell by the way they walked. They walked with straight pride, the elders being respected. I've never met a more disciplined, gentle group of people anywhere.
The Dinka's home of southern Sudan was in the midst of its longest period of peace, and the Dinkas carried on their way of life just as they had for centuries.
We're proud to be Dinka. I'm a guy that grew up with the cows, I was a farmer. My father wanted me to maintain the Dinka culture, our culture.
But one day, fate would intervene.
My cousin dragged me to the basketball court. I took the couple of dribble and I tried to dunk the ball. Lost my 2 teeth in the rim. I broke my teeth. So I decided at that time that I should play basketball. And I went and told my father. My dad said no. So I snuck out in the house and I went back to the city. And I started playing basketball.
All of a sudden, he developed real fast. He got to be a real good player. And then he was selected to the national team.
Suddenly, Manute was exposed to whole new ways of life.
I saw American with a nice socks, nice shoes, everybody looking good, And they were saying that if you go to the United States, you can be a good player.
Lured by the promise of wealth and adventure, Manute would become the first African player drafted by the NBA.
They came to him and told him that he was going to start the next day, and they were playing against the LA Lakers. And he tells me now, he said, I couldn't sleep, because he was just so excited and nervous at the same time. And he ended up playing against Jabari, and he had a really great game. He actually blocked Jabari's shot, and that was kind of like his coming out in the NBA.
What I made in the league, so I called back to Sudan. And I said, guess what I play against tonight? They said, who? I said, I'm playing against Dr. J. All my cousins didn't believe me. All my teammates, they said, no, you're lying.
Soon, they would all believe as Manute became one of the game's true phenomenons.
The shovel pass to Green, blocked by Bol. Green in the lane again, and again he's blocked by Bol. The human fly swatter. First by Manute, playing incredible defensive basketball.
watching guys just, trying to dunk on the dude.
Pressing on the drive. Arrow blocked by Manute Bol. Yes!
It didn't happen very often. He altered the game, man. He altered the game.
Manute would find a home with 4 different teams, and he became a fan favorite everywhere he went.
Manute for 3. Good! That's his second in a row. The play, and nothing but net. The crowd beside themselves.
He was always open. People would leave him open. I mean, I would too. At 7'7", but he made some big shots.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Manute Bol has hit 3 3-point shots. What's going on here? Manute madness.
He can always get you to laugh at something. If nothing else, there's him. There's Manute just being Manute.
Oh, Manute gets between the legs. What a shoulder. The man is incredible.
Charlie! Oh! Don't do him like that! Don't do him like that, Charlie.
Manute had found wealth and fame in America, but as his NBA career was thriving, far away in his homeland, civil war had erupted, and it would soon reach across the ocean and touch Manute in ways he never could have imagined. In Manute's home of southern Sudan, a bloody civil war had broken out.
The northern Sudanese, who are Muslims, want to run the country according to Islamic law. And if you want to institute Islamic laws, you're pretty much kind of like dividing the country, based on religion.
The Arab people in the north have this mentality that they are the slave owners, they are the dominant people, and the other people are not of their interest.
The Dinkas had little chance against the superior forces of northern Sudan and were slaughtered by the thousands. But to Manute, the war seemed a distant threat.
At that point, he's been maybe in this country for like 5 years, you live in a good American life, you go out whenever you want, have something to eat. I mean, you get caught up in the way you live in this country, but the war just kept getting worse and worse.
Seeing their story one night on the news, Manute had a sudden call of conscience.
It was 1991. This is the first time I see Sudan on TV. And I saw it. And the Sudan government were killing my people. I say, no, this cannot be right. I have to do something, I decided to be a fighter.
He went to Sudan for the summer, and I think that really touched him.
I feel I make a lot of money. I should give it back to my people, because my people are dying.
I am not happy. When I came in, I was feeling really so bad because what I saw in my eyes is not what people told me. But I'd be happy to take this videotape back. I'm trying to convince people that our people need help.
Manute spoke across the United States, trying to raise awareness of his people's plight.
I have a good life, but these people are dying. I mean, somebody got to come up and do something. 10,000 people dying every day.
I go to the refugee camp and take a picture, and then I give it to the State Department. I thought to educate American people. The next threat going to be Islamic fundamentalists. You guys got to take care of these people now. They told us in the State Department that they have no interest in Africa.
This government allowed Osama bin Laden to come in and And after he was expelled from his own country in Saudi Arabia, he went to Sudan. He was welcomed, he was given safe haven. And as a matter of fact, from 91 to 96, that's when he really built up Al-Qaeda.
I went to Pentagon myself, and I told them, please, Bin Laden have to be stopped. Nobody believe us. I feel like a fool.
Then, out of the blue, the Sudanese government invited Manute back to his homeland to take part in a peace negotiation. They even offered him a job as head of culture and sports. His friends and relatives warned him of the risks, but Manute pushed forward.
I was scared, but I gotta do it, you know.
As soon as Manute arrived in Sudan, the government seized his travel documents. The offers of a place within the government was withdrawn, and Manute was basically under house arrest.
Afraid that if he went to a government hospital, he would be killed, Manute saw his health deteriorate.
I was held back there for 3 years. Bad arthritis. My hand, my hip, my knee. I was in bad shape.
Manute's friends and family flooded news organizations with the story of his plight. But the government wouldn't yield, and Manute grew desperate.
He felt that his condition at that point was hopeless and that he would probably never get out. He thought he would die in Sudan.
In a bold gamble, Manute simply boarded a plane and dared the government to stop him.
When Manute arrived at the Khartoum airport, he was detained for 2.5 hours and not allowed to get on the plane. And it wasn't until there were several BBC reporters there recording this that word came down from higher up that Manute was better out of their hair than creating an international incident at the airport.
Manute was finally back in America, but he was penniless, living with his family in a cramped house paid for by charity. But despite his own troubles, he knew one thing: his people still needed help.
The thought of 7'7" former NBA shot blocker Manute Bol as a jockey is absurd. Bol will become a spectacle as the world's tallest jockey.
Unable to play basketball, he earned money any way he could, trading on his past celebrity.
Manute Bol, who will be the tallest player in professional hockey history.
But as if he hadn't crossed enough hurdles, his greatest challenge was yet to come.
Former NBA center Manute Bol is fighting for his life tonight. Bol was a passenger in a car when it flipped over on a Connecticut highway. The cab driver was killed in the wreck. Bol was thrown from the car and suffered serious head injuries.
Manute's neck was broken, and he was near death, but he managed to hold on.
I was gonna say that, why me? But I said, no. God kept me alive. I didn't die. I am the lucky guy. It was a miracle. So I'm happy. And I feel like I'm gonna walk like everybody. I'm gonna do good. I'm trying now, you know, to get up. Don't hold me. Keep your hand off.
Keep your hands off.
Yeah, because I need to walk by myself. I don't need anybody to help me out. Because I need to walk. I need to walk. I'm not gonna fall no more.
Even now, as he struggles to walk, his thoughts are never far from home.
When the peace comes in Sudan, I will know that I did something good. I'm not gonna give up, you know. I'm gonna try and fight.
Ironically, this grandson of a Dinka chief who couldn't wait to get away from his people has lived up to the name given to him decades before. Special blessing. Descendant of Dinka royalty, beloved basketball phenom, and a hero to the persecuted and oppressed of the southern Sudan, Manute Bol lay broken in a Connecticut hospital. He had narrowly escaped with his life in an auto accident that left his taxi driver dead and this former NBA player at a point of crisis.
When I was in outside before the accident. I was making a living. But after that, it's been zero because I'm in the bed here. You cannot help or you're not better.
It is Dinka tradition that the past will provide help when there are problems in the present. For Manute, it would come from his playing days. Chris Mullen had met Manute before he entered the league, and he and his family had accepted Bol into their tribe, even though they grew up a world away in Brooklyn, New York.
So they took Manute Bol under their arm, if they could, so to speak, and treated him as a member of the family.
Good food. I have a place to sleep. They take me to the Irish bar, talk to the Irish people.
When we walked in there was a lot of people thinking they had way more to drink than they actually did. But he was comfortable there. I was comfortable bringing him there, and he was my friend, I was his friend, and we went where we went.
Their paths will cross again when Chris, a struggling young player with the Warriors, encouraged Coach Don Nelson to trade for his old friend.
He thought that it was better good for me to go and play for him and also hang around with Chris.
Hey, boy. Hey, man. What you doing? Me.
Mullen would become an all-star while he and Manute became basketball's hardest couple.
Don't get nervous now.
Party's over.
You've been on TV in a while, no.
No. What is this, man?
As much as he would stick out on Flatbush Avenue, that's how much I would stick out in the Sudan.
There was one lady who told me, she said, hey, Manute, in the summertime, can you guys take a vacation to Hawaii? And I said, why? He said, you're a friend and too white, you know. Chris Mullen needed some tan.
Get on my shoes.
They would pal around, always eating together, and wrestling and all of that kind of stuff. Going in the hotels on the road, you know, those guys in the room wrestling. I said, come on, man, you got. But that's kind of like, you know, brothers.
What you call that?
Scratch.
Baby doll? Love you, baby.
When Chris's father died in 1990, Manute was there in his friend's time of need.
We got to know each other beyond basketball and beyond just the hype. I think over time, when you go through different things, it's not something you expect or plan. That's what happens. Friends are there for each other.
It's a bond that began with one family and will live on with another.
The Dinkas have very well-established and well-entrenched traditions and customs as to how they name their offspring. And to name a child after somebody is of the utmost honor. And I watch with a bit of amusement when I introduce Manute's children to anybody. I go through the list and I'll go, this is Abouk, Manute, Chris, Ayak, and Bol. And just to watch the faces of people scrunch up and ask, hey, did you say Chris?
That's his way of, to me, saying how much he thinks of me. It's a beautiful tribute, and that's pretty incredible.
Mullen's tribute to Manute would come later. Chris, who had become the Warriors' vice president, organized a charity event and raised over $80,000 to pay for Manute's medical bills.
When I heard about that, I said, Chris, are you telling me the truth or not? He said, don't worry about it.
He's got a great heart. He's a really good person, and I think he's touched a lot of people. You know, he's touched a lot of people in a positive way, and I think that's why people want to help him.
Let me talk to T-Way.
T-Way? T-Way. He's right here. What's up, Nuke?
I'm not wasting my time, man. No problem, man. You just get well soon, all right, so we can see you down here, okay? Hey, I'm going to try to do that. All right, cool. And thank you guys a lot, man. No problem, man. You just get well, that's all.
These people called me here, and they told me, I say thank you, Chris.
It's been a great friendship, and it's been based on a lot of things. It's been based on real life. It's been based on ultimately being there for each other, in good times and bad. That's life to me. It's the circle of life, you know, it really is.
And with Chris's help, Manute hopes to bring his life full circle by returning the Sudan to a more peaceful time. A time that he loved and left as a young Dinka tribesman.
God gonna open the road for Southern Sudanese to have a feast soon. Somebody gonna wake up and say, we gotta go to this country and we gotta make that feast. If we have peace in Sudan, that would be a good gift. So I'm praying for that. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try and fight for peace and to survive. Baba, you know what your dad used to do, right?
Yes.
What I used to do?
You used to dunk over people.
And?
You used to shoot over them.
Bol takes it, he wants it again.
He just had a big heart and one of the funniest dudes I've ever been around, and had a great zest for life. You know how you talk about great players make the players around them better. Great people make the people around them better. And I'm better off for the time that I spent around him. There's no question about that.
American game, he is fantastic.
Don't worry, be happy. He loved that song. He would come in almost every day singing. When that song was hot, every day he would come in there. Don't worry, be happy. Yo, Rob, what are you mad about? Don't worry, be happy. He loved that.
Anybody who loves life and doesn't forget where you came from, is going to give back the best that you can. And Manute is at the head of the class.
During that entire 100+ days in the hospital, I never saw him depressed.
All right, now.
See? And it was probably that same spirit that allowed him to go from just a herder of cattle in a remote village in Sudan to a decade-long career in the NBA.
I'd have to say the most interesting, you know, funny, intriguing, crazy, and yet with all that, the basketball, the car accident, the growing up, somehow he makes me smile. You know,
Is he a great daddy?
Yes.
Why?
He's not gonna say it. Yeah.
Because I love him.
I love you too.
Love you too, Dad.